You've probably wondered once or twice why your housing costs are so high. The median single-family home price within the city of Framingham is $655,000, and people are paying over $1,400 a month to rent a one-bedroom apartment here. At The Frame, we spoke with community members and elected officials to answer your questions and identify resources in the greater MetroWest region to combat the issue.
We have a huge housing crisis in Framingham, and when they talk about affordable housing, it's really not affordable, to be honest with you. When it's just a struggle, and the rents are through the roof in Framingham also. It's just because we are unique with the two exits off the Mass Pike, and businesses come to Framingham, and that's what we hear constantly in the city of Framingham, is that we don't have enough housing for the workers that work in Framingham. And when you have an affordable apartment that's $2,500 or $2,000, it doesn't work for some people.
Within the MetroWest area, the cost of living has nearly doubled since 2009. Housing remains the biggest culprit, with a 142% increase from 2009. However, in the past year, a decrease in mortgage rates led to a 6% decrease. The Framingham Housing Authority is the agency managing public housing for Middlesex County. Deputy Executive Director Helen Plant and Director of Public Housing Jackie Vega emphasized rent control amidst rising prices.
For us as a housing authority, our ability for housing stabilization is that we're here, we're able to provide housing for families that are in need.
Because if Framingham wasn't so expensive, people wouldn't be looking to us to kind of help them out.
MERC data from last year shows that a majority of cost-burdened households are renters as opposed to owners. Some members of the Framingham community are struggling to the point they're having to leave Framingham, moving elsewhere for cost-effective housing. One of these renters is Raquel Takuri, who recently moved nearly an hour outside the city with her family of 5.
Are you a resident of Framingham? And if so, how long have you lived in Framingham?
No longer anymore. After 13 years.
After 13 years. Okay.
I would have loved to stay in Framingham, but under unfortunate circumstances, we couldn't find anything affordable.
Obscenely high. I don't know how people are paying the rents these days, and I don't know how they're justifying it.
The rents.
Yeah, the rents. The rents are definitely going up. I think, our last rent survey between the last 2 years, we saw about a good 8% increase in rents.
Often families, if they get a huge rent increase in any given year, are forced to move out of the community because there aren't other options available to them.
With housing authority organizations in the area having wait lists of up to 10 years, City Council Chair Phil Ottaviani encourages constituents to reach out to their local elected officials as they refer people to various resources, even tackling comorbid issues such as food insecurity.
The housing insecurity, the food insecurity, it all goes together.
If more than 30% of your income is going to housing, you're not having enough access to funds to also pay for food.
Policy-wise, housing affordability is getting more attention with the MBTA Communities Act, a piece of state legislation requiring towns and cities with at least one MBTA station to have at least one multifamily housing district within their zoning by right. Framingham achieved compliance with the MBTA Communities Act in July, opening up doors to various state funds and resources. Zoning is now also provided for over 5,000 multifamily units, 1,000 more than what state law required.
And the City Council voted unanimously to leave the rates the way they were, because we want to make it easier for folks to be able to, live, work, and play in Framingham and raise their families.
Something that was echoed throughout community conversation and speaking with elected officials is that landlords should understand the population that they're serving, especially when it comes to renters.
You do have a lot of higher income earners, and then you have a lot of, low to moderate income earners who've lived in Framingham as kids, who want to stay in Framingham but can't afford to stay in Framingham. So it's, them being understanding of that and looking at their rent structure.
Organizations like Family Promise MetroWest work directly with landlords to best serve the community.
For families that are in housing right now, but at risk of eviction or facing homelessness, the most important thing is keeping them in their housing that they already have. And so whether that be working with their landlord to create a payment plan or to pay off past due rent, pay a down payment, those are all things that Family Promise looks to do with the funds we have available to try to stop a tragedy before it happens.
Brandon Ward added that organizations supporting housing affordability are always accepting donations and encourage community involvement in events.
Right now, teachers, firefighters, service workers in Framingham, people that grew up in Framingham, they can't afford to live here anymore, and there's a lack of housing availability. And I think if more people spoke up in favor of housing for others in our community, it would go a long way.